And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys.
Face of fear on everyone you meet.
Yeah.
They come on the street, they give their lives. We are the people, they won't take us alive.
Oh, shit. Ladies and gentlemen, feds and degenerates, cuckolds of all ages, it's that time once again. It's time for Mild's Culture Plate. I am your host, Mild Kevin Miles, and it is Monday, February 17th, 2025. And we're going to be talking a little bit about the news. First off, this is a special holiday edition. It is his day, praised to be. The President of the United States. It is President's Day. Go ahead and ditch the extra chair here in my office. Sorry. It is President's Day, and usually when we have a holiday and I have a holiday off of work, I try to do a bonus live stream. But this week I've been doing a lot of bonus live streams because I have really gotten into launching my gaming channel. I've been playing a little Age of Empires 2, and I've been playing a whole hell of a lot of Baldur's Gate 3. The link to my gaming channel's down in the description. I'm both on Rumble and Twitch doing some gaming streams. Mostly, I'm doing it because I'm trying to get to that 30 hours for the Rumble partnership program. Um, so yeah, I could also use some follows over on the Rumble gaming channel, the Milds gaming channel. I'm just a few followers away from being able to get a custom URL. Definitely want to try to at least do that. So if y'all can just follow me over there, even short term. If I'm streaming too much or you don't like my streams, feel free to unfollow me later. But if I could just hit that benchmark, I'd really appreciate it. I also went in and saw the reason now that I'm using Rumble Studio. You may notice we're on 5 different platforms up there. We're on Rumble, Locals, YouTube, Twitch, and X. The reason we actually have not been streaming to Facebook, I found out, is my fan page over on Facebook has 0 followers. And they want you to have 100 followers on Facebook in order to stream there. So I'm not too worried about Facebook. Facebook can go jack itself off as far as I'm concerned. Zuckerberg can have his platform free of the mild one, and that'll be that. So we have a lot of interesting things to talk about today. We're going to be talking a lot about Elon Musk. We're going to be talking about Musk derangement syndrome. We're going to be talking the Supreme Court and Marbury versus Madison a little bit. We're going to be talking about the First Amendment and J.D. Vance. And we're going to be talking about a couple tragedies that have happened. So first off, let me go ahead and just say to those folks dealing with the floods, my prayers go out to you, man. We've got some flooding happening, I think in Kentucky and North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. My prayers go out to you folks. Please stay safe and please stay dry. So it appears as though we are live. I don't think we got any viewers right now, which is a little unusual. But I get it. You folks have your Monday routines, right? And I'm doing something a little unroutine for a Monday. So do me a favor, if you're watching later on demand, just leave me a message down in the comments. Let me know you were by. And let me go ahead and go ahead and cheers and welcome. Sorry about the coughing. I meant to hit that mute button just a second earlier. Hey, we got Still Life over on Rumble. Cheers and welcome. Cheers and welcome to you, sir. Good seeing you on this lovely holiday Monday. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of gaming and look, I'm not that familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, but it's fucking hard, man. It's fucking hard. I've been getting my ass kicked, especially earlier today. I did like a 5-hour stream this morning, streaming Baldur's Gate 3. And, I'm just not familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, and I was mostly kicking my own ass. And it got to the point where I was essentially just running around naked because, none of my armor was any good. And, big shout out to everyone in my chat that was helping me. So yeah, but enough about that. Enough about that. Let's get into the news here. So I said I was going to be handling a couple tragedies here. We've got Delta Flight 4819 involved in an accident at Toronto Pearson Airport. Let's see, let me go ahead and bring this up from ABC News. Start screen share. Bring this up from ABC News. Okay, you have a Delta flight crashed and what the hell? Presentation mode, thank you. There we go. 18 people have been taken to hospitals. Delta plane crashed, overturned in Toronto, and everyone survived. Look at the image of Delta Flight 4819 upside down at Toronto Pearson International Airport. Crashed while landing at the airport on Monday, and the plane was seen upside down on the snow-covered ground. 18 passengers taken to hospitals. Real Regional Paramedic Services said none of the injuries were considered to be life-threatening. 3 people suffered critical injuries, a child, a man in his 60s, and a woman in her 40s, according to Orange, which provides medical transport. Among the others, 12 people have mild injuries, Paramedic Services said. The 76 passengers and 4 crew on board have been evacuated following the accident, according to Delta and the FAA. The flight originated in Minneapolis. The primary focus is taking care of those impacted, Delta said. What caused the plane to flip and catch fire was not immediately clear, but the investigation is already underway, sources told ABC News. Transportation Safety Board of Canada will lead the investigation, the FAA said. Investigators from the FAA and the NTSB are assisting. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy wrote on social media, I've been in touch with my counterpart in Canada to offer assistance and help with the investigation. The incident occurred at approximately 2:15 Monday, Eastern Time. Toronto Airport temporarily stopped flights in the wake of the crash, with departures and arrivals resuming as of 5 p.m. Eastern, so about an hour ago. While the cause is unknown, the crash unfolded during blowing snow and strong wind gusts. Winds reached 40 miles per hour on the ground and were stronger several hundred feet in the air. Delta CEO Ed Bastian says the hearts of the entire global Delta family are with those affected by today's incident at Toronto Pearson International Airport. I want to express my thanks to the many Delta and Endeavour team members and first responders on site. Mayor Olivia Chow wrote on social media, I'm relieved to learn that all passengers and crew are accounted for after today's plane crash at Toronto Pearson. Thank you to the first responders, crew, and airport staff for their quick actions and commitment to keeping everyone safe. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says he's in touch with Delta. Grateful to first responders and professionals on the scene, he wrote. There we go. So yeah, more plane tragedies. I think this shit keeps happening. I might just stop flying. So speaking of transportation secretaries, we got the former transportation secretary under the Biden administration, Pete Buttigieg, deciding to weigh in on the Elon Musk stuff on Twitter, on X rather, saying that if you wanted to cut waste, fraud, and abuse, you would empower the inspectors general. You wanted more waste, fraud, and abuse, you would fire them. Well, it depends. Depends on who's doing the waste, fraud, and abuse, right? Depends on who's enabling the waste, fraud, and abuse. You know, it's pretty fucking rich coming from the guy who oversaw billions of dollars being fed into an electric vehicle charging station scam that only saw the erection of 8 chargers. Because, yeah, here's Daniel Turner reminding everyone.
Like 10 times, 9 times. from Jay Powell. I'm just wondering, is it to say that our designs on electrification of the auto industry, have we recalibrated there? And I'll just give you one item, and maybe you can explain why. But under the Inflation Reduction Act, $7.5 billion for building these charging stations.
$7.5 billion.
The latest information, 8 have been
beginning
built
of the Biden
with
administration.
the $7.5 billion that had been allocated. You're supposed to get to 500,000 of these charging stations by 2030. What is really the problem with? Have you looked at that and figured out why?
Oh yeah, no, that's on track. So we're at about 190,000 publicly available charging stations in the U.S. That's approximately double what the level was when President Biden came in. The issue, though, is that there are some gaps
but you didn't
in the market,
build those.
Ones that are just not going to be built by the private
Elon
sector
Musk
that's
built
been
those.
building the construction of those chargers to date. That's why the legislation provided for funding to do federally supported chargers that are intended to be online before 2030. Now, the bulk of that construction will happen in 27, 28, quite a bit, actually, I expect by 2026. A handful, as you mentioned, are actually already up and running, but really what you're going to see is more the second half of this decade. And it's really important to have those federally supported chargers because you have stretch.
Well, I'd like to know what Elon Musk is doing about that, right? I'd like to know if that project's still on that trajectory here under Elon Musk. And I jokingly say under Elon Musk because, yeah. You know, Elon Musk has a lot of interest in the electric charging capabilities of the country, but he also has a lot of interest in the waste, fraud, and abuse that we see here. Billions of dollars. Okay, let me go ahead and bring that down. Real quick, I do want to touch on something unrelated to politics. We have Collider reporting that again, I'm not trying to promote a product here when I talk about this. I just find it interesting. Collider reporting that McFarlane Toys is coming out with a new Joker action figure straight from the cover of The Killing Joke. The reason I bring this up is there was a controversy that sprung out of sort of the Comicsgate arena. You had Gail Simone making a big deal that during her Batgirl run, you had an alternate cover being proposed by DC Comics that paid homage to The Killing Joke. Now, if you're not familiar with Gail Simone came up with the women in refrigerators controversy, to where women in comic books allegedly only exist to be objects manipulated by the male characters of these universes. And she had a real problem with the idea that she was going to be writing this powerful Batgirl comic involving Barbara Gordon. And one of the most popular Barbara Gordon stories was The Killing Joke, in which she was shot by the Joker and paralyzed. And they kept her paralyzed for several generations of the comic. So, the variant cover got pulled, and the idea of this image here of Joker holding the camera was sort of outside of The Killing Joke itself. It was kind of considered uncouth. It was considered anti-women there for a while. And so now that Todd McFarlane and DC Comics has decided they are going to make an action figure of the cover image of The Killing Joke. Where is my Killing? It's in my boxed set. I can't pull the damn thing out. Fuck it, I'll pull the whole box set out. fact that they're making an action figure of this now in 2025. To me, goes to show that the symptom of go woke, go broke, we're starting to turn the tides, folks. We're starting to turn the tides. I think comic history is starting to win out. I don't think it's ever going to be fixed. The issue of comic writing, I think current comics and future comics are fucking doomed with these people in charge. But at the very least, the merchandising, back issues, trade paperbacks, graphic novels, reprints, I think we are really starting to see a sea tide change in the idea that we need to avoid certain topics and certain imagery. So, shout out to McFarlane Toys for having the guts to put that out there. Okay, let's get into, no, not that just yet. Okay, in Mexico, you have the Mexican Senate has now I guess, passed a bill to approve United States Special Forces to help train the Mexican military to go after the cartels. We got this picture. Green. Okay, so these are the Mexican Marines working with the U.S. Army 7th Special Forces Group. And they're training to take on the cartels. You've got leftists on X and everywhere saying, well, the army's not going into Mexico to take on the cartels. Well, the fact that our army is on the ground working with the Mexican Marine forces to do this kind of work, the fact that Mexico is actually ready to start taking care of the cartel problem is big news. Now, I've had Trump derangement leftists tell me that you're not going to see an end to the immigration problem, and that all of our immigration problems and the fentanyl problem and the drug problem, you're not going to see an end to that because, for one, the U.S. military is not brave enough to take on the cartels. And, we're basically just throwing all of these migrants back at these countries to be subjugated by these rebel groups and cartels in Mexico and Venezuela. Hey, we got Still Not Banned here in the chat over on Rumble. Cheers and welcome. Good seeing you again. Cheers, cheers, cheers. A little water toast there. Uh-oh. Wait, what's going on? Oh, that's why. I'm not using my proper... There we go. Try that again in the orange glow there. Well, now we got orange glow. Yeah, there we go. Didn't have my settings right there for a second. Anyway, cheers and welcome. Let's get a couple of sound effects for both Still Life and Still Not Banned here. Get a couple sound effects. Okay, let's go. So let's give you an I'm gonna come.
I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come.
And then let's do a Christ is Lord for Still Life.
Shut the fuck up! Say Christ is Lord. Say Christ is Lord.
All right, there we go. There we go. All right. And so, to me, when I hear these unhinged leftists say that, we're not going to be able to do a whole lot about the immigration problem, Americans are just too hungry for drugs, and our CIA is too ready to perpetuate the drug problem. I think so far we're seeing otherwise. We're seeing the Trump administration actually tackle this on multiple fronts, not just with deportations, but working with the Mexican government to secure the border, and now working with the Mexican government to actually do something about the cartel activity. And hopefully, this means Mexico will be a great place to live after all of this. You don't have to be afraid of the gang wars. And maybe they'll do the same thing with Venezuela. I don't know. But for now, let's just watch this stuff play out and wish and hope and pray for our Army Special Forces working with Mexican Marines here to have successful missions. And again, so I just want to say, thank you to the Mexican Senate. Thank you to the Mexican Senate for passing these kind of laws and working with us internationally to solve the problems that affect all of our countries. So yeah, they've approved the entry of the United States Special Forces into Mexico. Plan is for the 7 Special Forces group to train Mexican soldiers on conventional and non-conventional types of combat. And, if Mexico fails, then the United States will have to take matters into their own hands. This is by George at Behezy Tweets. Go ahead and bring that up. There we go. All right. What else do we got going on here? I don't like to get too much into all the craziness from conservative influencers on Twitter like Mario Naval or Mike Cernovich. But we have had this issue where I've mentioned it. We brought up the news article on the last show about these judges issuing rulings that the Trump administration should stop doing this, stop doing that. That Elon Musk needs to stop doing this, stop doing that. And we've had some, the Trump administration's had some wins at the federal court level, but they've also taken some losses, right? And there's been this conversation of a constitutional crisis, right? Does the United States president have to obey judicial orders from federal courts? Well, I would say, which federal court are you talking about? And so Mike Cernovich has been posting a lot about Marbury versus Madison over the past 24 hours or whatever, or several hours today, rather. And let me actually just go to Cernovich's Twitter feed here. Oh, my Lord. He's bounced around between a few different topics. So, okay, let's do this. Let's share here. Okay, he's talking about pedophiles there. Okay, and imagine if in January 2020, Judge Kaczmarek ordered Joe Biden to make Bill Barr the Attorney General for 2 weeks, and the Fifth Circuit refused to review the order. This would be near universally described by media as a coup, and absolutely so. Yeah. So yeah, they're trying to. We have federal judges trying to make Trump continue to allow certain people in the government. Yeah, court has barred the president from controlling an entire department of the executive branch and has turned over that department to a person who answers to no one and for whom no one voted. President is elected for 4 years with the mandate of the people to exercise power under the Constitution. Myers 272, U.S. at 123. There we go. So you have Myers being sorted right there, or cited right there, right? Myers, let's see, let's do a Myers 272 U.S. Myers versus United States. Let's look this up on the Wikipedia here. Myers versus United States, 272 U.S. 52, was a United States Supreme Court decision ruling that the president has the exclusive power to remove executive branch officials, does not does not need the approval of the Senate or any other legislative body. And one would assume that would extend to any judicial body, right? It was distinguished in 1935 by Humphrey Executor v. United States. However, in Celia Law versus Consumer Financial Protection Bureau in 2020, the Supreme Court interpreted Myers as establishing that the president generally has unencumbered removal power. Myers was the first Supreme Court case to address the president's removal powers. In 1920, Frank Myers, a first-class postmaster, was removed from office by Woodrow Wilson. In 1876, federal law provided that postmasters of first, second, and third classes shall be appointed and may be removed by the president, quote, with the advice and consent of the Senate. Myers argued that his dismissal violated this law and he was entitled back pay for the unfulfilled portion of his term. William Taft, Chief Justice, writing for the court, noted that the Constitution mentions the appointment, but is silent on their dismissal. Taft first examined the notes of the Constitutional Convention and found its silence on the subject to be intentional. The convention had discussed the dismissal of the executive branch staff and believed it was implicit in the Constitution that the president held the exclusive power to remove his staff, whose existence was an extension of the president's own authority. So again, you have the Solicitor General in the Dellinger case here. You have a federal judge ruling that President Trump had no right to remove him. And that he should be reinstated. But here's the thing. The President of the United States is the head of the executive branch. And only someone equal to him can issue orders to him. So it would have to be the Supreme Court of the United States. Your average circuit court here's what Cernovich had to say here. Let's look at this. SCOTUS shall take care that the law be faithfully executed. Our system of separated powers confirms up the executive branch co-equal status, including the discretion to determine whether a court order is lawful. Judicial supremacy was rejected by the founders. Then he goes on to say, why does POTUS have to obey a court judicial order? And then everyone on Twitter says, because Marbury versus Madison said so. Okay, judges said they had the power to oversee the executives. No such power is granted in the Constitution. Look it up. So this is essentially, Nick Rekieta talked a lot about this on his channel. Marbury versus Madison was essentially the Supreme Court saying, yeah, we have the power to do this. And then the Constitution didn't give them that power. They just ruled that they had the power. And then we've had, let's see. We've had a few issues. Andrew Jackson and the Worcester versus Georgia issue. where Jackson allegedly said John Marshall's made his decision, now let him enforce it, talking about the Supreme Court. And that never actually came to a head of a constitutional crisis. But we're looking at a situation, unprecedented situations, where you have the elites, you have the establishment trying to do anything they can to subvert the power of the presidency right now. So this might become a constitutional crisis. Now, we allegedly have a 5-person majority of conservatives on the Supreme Court. So I don't think it will ever come to that, because if the Supreme Court steps in, I do think the conservatives might side with Trump. But let's also not overlook the idea that it would be essentially the Supreme Court shooting themselves in the foot. And we don't know that the Supreme Court would not rule to extend their own power. Especially with Chief Justice John Roberts being one of the 4 women on the court who care more about their legacy and care more about influencing the country than they do about the rule of law or the Constitution. Demon's Wrath says, I'm at yoga, so I can't watch at the moment, but I'll lift a like before I bow out. Cheers and welcome, Demon's Wrath. Good seeing you. Maybe the ladies in yoga pants be very inspiring of you to get your workout completed in a healthy and loving fashion. Still Not Banned here says, yeah, they're definitely trying to defy him so hard right now. I mean, I literally just don't trust this Supreme Court. They call it a 5-3 majority, but I don't. The 5 women on the court, I don't trust them. Amy Coney Barrett, Kagan, Jackson Brown, Sotomayor, and John Roberts. I don't trust the 5 women on the court to rule in conservative ways. They're way too emotional and want their legacy to be influencing on the country. So here we are. We're at a crossroads. And honestly, I think the Trump administration should just ignore. I mean, after all, you got the keys to the building. Who says you have to let someone else in? Still Not Banned here says, yeah, no, don't trust them nor Congress. Yeah. Right now, you can't. And our quote unquote conservative majority in Congress, our Republican majority in Congress, is very, very fragile. We have a lot of rhinos. We have a lot of establishment uniparty Republicans that are barely holding that majority up. Speaking of Constitution, I'm going to go ahead and move on a little bit. We had a First Amendment issue be brought up by the Associated Press. I covered this on my last show. The Associated Press is really upset that the Trump administration would rather fly Air Force One with empty press seats so that they can punish the Associated Press for using the term Gulf of Mexico. And this has now become a rallying cry for the left and the mainstream establishment and the mainstream media for this is a First Amendment violation, right? We got Mehdi Hassan here. here on Twitter. You got Mehdi Hassan saying, "Hey, JD Vance, I know you're busy lecturing Europeans on free speech, but have you seen this?" Now, if you're not familiar, Mehdi Hassan is a British journalist. And he's with ZTO News now, but he also is frequently a contributor to certain American journalist outlets, such as MSNBC and the like. But yeah, Trump's decision to limit AP reporters' access is okay. This is Mark Caputo with Axios, Trump White House reporter. Trump's decision to limit AP reporters' access is much fight over the Gulf of America as it is a protest of White House advisors say is years of liberal word choices that AP's style book has spread across mainstream media. Sure. But it's not a free speech issue. It's not a First Amendment issue. And JD Vance followed up right here. Yes, dummy. I think there's a difference between not giving a reporter a seat in the White House press briefing room versus jailing people for dissenting views. The latter is a threat to free speech. The former is not. Hope that helps. Nobody is entitled to a seat in the White House briefing room. I mean, look, you got to understand. It is the house of the people. The White House is the house of the people. And you, as a journalist, have a First Amendment right to report on the house of the people. But oftentimes, that kind of reporting has to come from a third party. I don't automatically get a seat in the White House press briefing room. I don't automatically get a seat on Air Force One, even though I kind of would like one. But I don't get that. And I don't know what I would do with it if I had it. But you know what I can do? I can report on the several public news outlets that do get a seat and the questions that they do ask. And I can interact with those journalists on places like Twitter. I could say, check this out. I could say this. I could say, dummy uses his First Amendment to complain about the, let's call freedom of speech. His free speech to complain that free speech is being trampled. There we go. Try that. That ought to engage some people here. You got Cat Turd with the poop brain. Oh. Apparently at some point in time he locked down the replies, but now it's open. Always propaganda. I don't really care, Margaret. In Germany, you go to jail for hurting someone's feelings. Yeah. Europe is terrible on free speech. The idea that we have to kowtow to the Associated Press and the language they want to use, even if it's anti-American, bullshit. Then you have I Meme, Therefore I Am, talking about the 60 Minutes issue. In response to Elon Musk talking about deliberate deception and potential lawsuit for media outlets. So you had I Meme, Therefore I Am reposting this here. Comparison between Trump's original interview with 60 Minutes and the edited version. I figured it'd be a good thing to do on the holiday is to just, listen to the president on President's Day. This is over 4-year-old clip. But a lot of people haven't seen the context of the original.
You would interview Joe Biden like you interviewed me. It would be so good. You know what?
You
The-
like this,
the-
I thought. I thought you
I don't
liked
mind it. I don't mind it.
Spot.
But when I watch him walk out of a store, he's in the midst of a scandal.
Okay, when I watch him walk out of a store, now this gets cut. This next part gets cut. The last thing you heard on television was walk out of a store.
His family is corrupt. Okay, he's corrupt. He's a corrupt politician. And he's walking with a,
And it cuts, and he's walking with an ice cream.
and the question the media asks him, what kind of ice cream?
They edited out specifically Trump addressing the scandals of Biden and his corrupt family and make this all about ice cream.
And what flavor ice cream do you have? And he's in the midst of a scandal.
He's not.
And he's taking, of course he is,
No,
Leslie.
come
Of
on.
course he is.
You
See
know, they
that?
had the Senate
So
committee
you're like-
of
you're like-
Republicans.
You're like big tech. You're protecting him. And everyone is, except for,
Yeah, but you're exactly,
And this
you're
is cut.
taking something that was investigated
Leslie,
by a
let me ask
Republican
you.
committee.
You think it's okay for the mayor of Moscow's wife to give him millions and millions of dollars?
Specifically addresses the millions of
Give his
dollars.
family $3.5. Do you think it's okay for Hunter Biden to say that we're giving the big guy 10% of this massive?
No big guy 10% made it
Do you
to
think
air.
it's okay for all of these horrible things that you've seen where they're getting hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars, where China gives them $1.5 billion to manage the family?
Deceptive
$1.5
editing.
billion, and then he's supposed to negotiate.
China giving
Let
$1.5
me tell you,
billion.
it's the biggest second biggest scandal. The
So
biggest scandal was when they spied on my campaign.
And now
They spied on my campaign.
there's no real
and now they're making it look like oh, it's just his paranoia. They cut out literally all the evidence that he just mentioned and then made it, oh, he's in the biggest scandal, but the second biggest scandal, because the biggest scandal is spying on my campaign.
evidence of
Of
that.
course there is. It's
No.
all over the place. Leslie,
Sir,
they spied on my campaign and they got caught.
Can I say something? This is 60 Minutes. And we can't put on things we can't
You
verify.
won't put it on because it's bad for Biden.
We can't
Look,
put
let me tell
on
you.
things we can't verify.
Leslie, they spied on my
But we
campaign.
can't verify.
It's been totally verified.
No.
It's been, just go down and get the papers. They spied on my campaign, they got caught.
No.
And then they went much further than that and they got caught. And you will see that, Leslie. And you know that, but you just don't want to put it on.
Disingenuous
As a matter of
editing.
fact, I don't know that.
Okay,
And you're out
so
there.
why don't you get back to your interview and let's go.
All right. So you said.
Okay. They're editing out this
Agreed.
question.
Nobody likes me. It can only be my personality.
I said that jokingly. That is sarcastic. Nobody likes me. It must be my personality. I say it all the time. Nobody likes me. It must be my personality. I say it all the time.
Wow. Yeah, they
Do you
definitely
think-
didn't show this.
That your tweets and your name calling are turning people off.
No, I think I wouldn't be here if I didn't have social media because the media is,
The name
Corrupt.
call.
in my opinion, the media is corrupt.
Ah,
The media is fake. And frankly, if I didn't have social media, I'd have no way of getting out my voice.
You know what you told me a long time ago when I asked why you keep saying fake with the
Yeah.
media?
Yeah.
You said to me, I say that because I need to discredit you so that when you say negative things about me, no one will believe
I
you.
don't have to discredit you.
And that's what you
You've
told me.
discredited yourself.
You told me that.
Leslie, you've discredited yourself.
edit it
When you
out.
say that
Right here. Edit
you're
it
not
out.
going to cover Biden, you're going to ask him what flavor ice cream he has, okay?
That's not
Instead
me.
of why did Hunter get $3.5 million from Moscow? Instead of why is an energy company paying your son $183,000 a month or whatever they're paying him, and he has no experience in energy? You discredit yourself. I don't have to discredit you.
So this story about Hunter, his laptop, some.
And they're not airing this.
The source
She's
is
admitting.
Steve Bannon and Rudy Giuliani,
I don't know anything about
And
that.
you're
I just know it's a
making-
laptop,
and
and they
you're-
haven't.
and you're making this one of the hottest, most important issues in your rallies.
I don't know about the.
this
And now
is
here we are
important.
4 years later, and we know the election would have
It's a
went the
very
other way
important
had
issue
they
to find out
removed
whether or
it.
not a man's corrupt who's running for president, who's accepted money from China and from Ukraine and from Russia.
And CBS News themselves dug into it and uncovered that it was all real way after the election. Way after the election. Okay. I think I've seen enough to know what's going on here. And yeah, I think Elon Musk is right. You know, at some point, we have to hold these media types accountable. And look, I'm not talking about a department of propaganda or whatever. I'm not talking about a department of disinformation and doing the shit that the Biden administration was trying to do to conservatives. But I think we do need some sort of government agency looking at the context and essentially doing a community notes on it, right? Allowing the internet to source what the truth behind the information is. Oh my. Okay. So let's get into there's today they've decided the far left has decided that they're going to do a President's Day March of the Morons because they're worried about Elon Musk's influence on the country. And Mario Nawfal, and again, I don't necessarily try to cover everything Mario Nawfal puts out, but Mario Nawfal has retweeted some of these videos. I'm assuming this is Border Hawk News down at the bottom right-hand corner. So this is the kind of discourse we have in the United States. In fact, it says Musk, and he's dressed in. Well, actually, it's dressed like Donald Trump, but he's got stripes like prison stripes, and it says Musk around his neck and Putin at his genitals. So this is the kind of adult humor we have on the left wing here. Very mature, very mature.
Is free speech, my ass. You're going.
Okay, and then we've got someone being arrested here.
Oh, spray painting is free speech, my ass. You're going to jail, bro.
Oh, he spray painted a journalist in the face.
You think it's all right to spray paint somebody, bro? Hey,
yeah, this guy just came up and spray painted him and his camera and everything.
This guy
in the hoodie right here. Stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Put your back down. Step over here with me.
All right.
Put the back down. Consent to a search. Put the back down.
I don't consent to a search. Well, yeah, well, that's what happens when you assault someone, buddy.
all over my phone,
Stay right here.
all over my glasses.
If he's got a can of
All over
spray
the side
paint in
of my
that
head.
bag, he's fucked. And you have probable cause to look.
So you guys phone? You get on recording?
I was pointed away from him, but it's all over my phone, all over my glasses.
You have it on you?
I have it on my video.
Yeah, if that chick's got it on tape, then they've got probable cause to search the guy's bag. So fuck you, and you're not consenting to a search.
Smile.
Wait a minute.
There we go.
Gotcha.
Like way away.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Oh,
Look at that baby face. Okay, so it looks like this is the same video we saw before. This is TPUSA showing the same guy, and I guess he's saying he's doing ethnic cleansing.
Yeah.
Doing some ethnic cleansing.
Yeah, there he goes. Wow. He called it ethnic cleansing.
Here, you see.
Okay, so here's further of the video here.
This is just a scarecrow.
Oh, it's just a scarecrow.
Any resemblance to a real human being is just coincidental.
Okay.
This is my friend Elon there. He's got
Okay,
his
it's a
ear,
crow.
you see.
Oh.
And then my friend
And then another crow.
Vladimir
Okay,
down
they're
here.
crows.
Yeah, he's got a good grip down there, so
All right.
everything's good.
Wow. Any significance as to why you used a noose?
Well, you gotta pull by something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is actually, it's easy to take on and off.
All right.
Now the back here, he's been doing some ethnic cleansing today, so.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This is just a scarecrow.
Oh, it's just a scarecrow.
Any
Mainstream media is directly responsible for making these people retarded. Cheers and welcome to Rusty Rivers over on Rumble. Good seeing you. Yeah, you know, Trump and Musk derangement syndrome is a thing. And, you know, again, it like I said, you know, you could put a million things on a sign other than stop their lies. Well, stop whose lies about what? Right? And then now you're dragging this dummy. I don't even think you have a coherent message involved. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Okay, let me go ahead and bring that down. Okay, we done Pete Buttigieg. Done the Supreme Court. Talked about Cernovich. Talked about Mehdi Hassan and J.D. Vance. Talked about the Mexican Senate. Okay, now let's get into Doge just a little bit. Now, I didn't see this original clip, but Wall Street Mav, I guess used to be known as Wall Street Silver. Now he goes by Wall Street Mav on X. Retweeted this. I didn't see the original clip. I would like to, though. But this is a little meme he made out of it. Of CNN. A little clip from CNN of Scott Jennings and one of the other hosts talking about whether or not Elon Musk has been transparent about this.
He's not been transparent. I mean, there may be...
I guess it's retweeted from Asher Press on, I'm assuming, TikTok. So we'll see. We'll see what this says here.
He's not been transparent. I mean, there may be...
They are making routine announcements about the things they are finding, and they are inviting questions about the things they are finding every single day.
But by definition, he's not being transparent.
Really, by definition, he's not being transparent. Okay, so here's the thing, right? You had all these far leftists that left X. They got Elon derangement syndrome and left X and went over to Pedosky, right? They're all over on Pedosky now. And so they're not on X, so they're not seeing this. And so they're freaking out that all this stuff's happening and they don't know why.
They're not providing data for the things that they say that they have found evidence of. They just aren't.
The White House has provided.
You can make announcements, and he also did admit that he actually.
So you just don't believe it. I mean, they are providing information. You just choose not to.
He's not.
You just choose not to believe it. And that's just it. You know, essentially that's what it boils down to. It boils down to, you know, do you trust what the government says? And I don't blame CNN for not trusting just the government whole cloth. That's what a journalistic outlet is supposed to do. But instead of just getting on TV and saying they're not providing receipts, well, that's what you, the journalist class, are supposed to go do. You're supposed to go get some boots on the ground and talk to the people involved and determine whether or not the things that are claiming are being found. And go to places like the USAID website and verify the information that Musk is bringing up. A lot of this information was put out by the Biden administration. All you have to do is go to the USAID website. All you have to do is go look at some of the bills Congress passed to spend this money on these things. For God's sakes, Rand Paul has been talking about this shit for years in his annual Christmas Festivus speeches. And, you know, we've had, you know, some talk that Doge is going to go into the IRS. We'll see. We'll see how that works out. And now, Elon Musk today dropped yet another bomb. One that has me, look, I've been an activist about the Federal Reserve issue, the issues with the Federal Reserve Bank and the inflation and the looting of America's wealth through unelected bankers. The Congress has handed the authority to issue currency over to private banksters so that they could loot the country through interest and inflation. And so Elon Musk making this tweet, understand that the Federal Reserve has the United States Gold Reserve on its books. The Federal Reserve claims to own the United States Gold Reserve. So now you have Elon Musk tweeting, looking for the gold at Fort Knox, and it's gone. And then below he says, the gold is the property of the American people. I sure hope it's still there. And then you got Wall Street apes saying the gold at Fort Knox was stolen by the Rockefeller family and the Federal Reserve. The woman who wrote the article exposing it was thrown out of a window 3 days later to her death.
Government would get wind of what was happening and blow the whistle. The largest fortune in the history of the world stolen. Shades of the old James Bond film, Goldfinger. Well, as a matter of fact, Ian Fleming, the author of the James Bond series, was head of the British counterintelligence service, MI5.
Some believe in the intelligence community that he wrote much of his fiction.
By the way, this
as a
is an
warning,
excerpt
as
from the
many
documentary,
authors
The
of
Money
fiction
Masters.
do.
If the removal of all the good delivery gold from Fort Knox can be viewed as a deliberate raid on the U.S. Treasury, then such an operation might well have been years in the making, namely 40 years.
Oh, wait, no, it isn't.
Certainly enough
Or is it?
time
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Fleming
Bill
to get
Still.
wind of it
Yeah,
and
this is
try to
it.
prevent
Yeah,
it.
The Money Masters.
So just how did
fact,
the
I'm gonna-
story of the Fort Knox gold robbery?
If you're interested in hearing more about this, let me go ahead and throw this in the chat here. I'm going to throw a link to the Money Masters in the chat. So Bill Still, I actually have had the pleasure of meeting Bill Still in person. He was giving a talk in Kansas City. And yeah, I actually got to meet the guy. He said at the time he was about to work on a documentary about eminent domain and how the Kansas City downtown area revitalization was all an eminent domain scam to hand over private property to other private developers. And so, hey, we got Billdozer74 in the chat. I missed him. Where did he come? Yeah, he said, "What's up, y'all?" And then said, "Hope y'all are well." I am doing very well, Bill. Cheers and welcome. So yeah, Money Masters is just one documentary about the Federal Reserve that I do recommend. There's a lot of them. I probably one of these days I ought to do a video about all the documentaries that I advise people to watch, because I've watched a ton of them. I have watched a ton of them. Well, we have reached the hour mark. And I definitely hope we do audit the books of the Federal Reserve Bank, including whether or not Fort Knox still has the American people's gold. Because I do believe it's been stolen. Oh, look at this. Babylon B following up. Oh shit, I just noticed this. Babylon B following up Audit reveals all Fort Knox gold replaced with IOUs. IOU 5 million gold bars. Written like a child's crayon. You gotta love Babylon Bee. Fucking jumping on the bandwagon. Fuck yeah. Love the Babylon Bee. Let's see what else the Babylon Bees had to say recently. Should I do a Love Don't Judge, people? I don't know. I'm not used to doing these holiday streams. Entire workforce replaced by a 16-year-old Chick-fil-A worker. Is Elon Musk the father of your child? Signs to look for? Range maniac fires off 17 memes in a crowded German shopping mall. Okay, yeah, here we go. Trump announces plan to attack the British and Prussian forces at Waterloo. Okay, so this meme is in response to Redditors and other far leftists. Their new rallying cry was, if they want to turn America into Germany in the 1930s, then we need to turn it into France in the 1790s. Good luck. Good luck. Skyrocketing unemployment among lizard people. Von Trapp family crosses the Alps into Switzerland to escape free speech. Jeez. Model H schooler van that will fit all his kids. Oh, shit. So, yeah, if you didn't watch my last stream, yeah, there's been this scandal about Elon Musk having a baby with Ashley St. Clair. I honestly, I'm trying not to make as big a deal about it as some people. All right, gonna go ahead and just back on out because yeah, we're at the hour mark. I wouldn't mind doing a little extra stream if you wanted, if you folks wanted Love Don't Judge, but you know, some people don't like it, so I think I might just go ahead and pass on it this time. But that's the news I had for today. And again, prayers again out to everyone who's dealing with floods, and prayers to the families who were traveling to Toronto and wound up in a upside down airplane on Delta Airlines. So, you know, prayers to everyone out there, man. Big shout out, big prayers. All right. Well, I think I'm going to get ready. I just had lunch a couple hours ago, but I think we're going to be having dinner here pretty soon. And I got some chores to catch up on. If I have time later, I might do another gaming stream. But I don't know. I think I might hold off on the gaming streams until I level up and get some more loot, because I'm definitely not trying to get in a bunch of fights on Baldur's Gate while I'm running around naked. And you know, cheers to everyone who watched me run around in my underwear earlier, getting into fights. Thank you. And once again, just another shout out. Down in the description are links to all my social media and my both of my gaming channels. If you follow me on those platforms, you can kind of follow my journey here on Baldur's Gate if you're interested in that kind of stuff. Even if you're not interested in that kind of stuff, I can use a few more follows just so I can get the streaming platforms to give me, you know, custom URLs and stuff like that. So if you can follow me on my Rumble gaming channel, just, you know, follow me for a couple weeks and then unfollow me. I would really appreciate just being able to get that URL going. And also it kind of helps with the overall followers I have. I'm trying to get to that 30 hours and get the Rumble partnership going on. So, you know, please just give me a hand. I'm using the gaming to springboard this into something a little more profitable, and maybe I could spend a lot more time and a lot less stress, you know, trying to make sure I have plenty of equipment and plenty of, you know, memberships and subscriptions. I'd like to get some AI going to help just polish off the program, make it more professional, and and use AI to make short clips of this to put on other platforms and try to draw more people in so that we can draw more people in the chat and chit chat and kind of just grow the platform overall. So yeah, if you could just take that one little step, click that thumbs up button. If you're new here, follow, share this off platform, watch other videos of mine. Really helps with the algorithms. I really would appreciate you doing any of the algorithm stuff. And yeah, like I said, I might wind up doing a bonus stream next week where I just talk about all the documentaries that I used to watch and that I really liked, and they're all going to be really old documentaries. I'm going to throw that out there. I haven't watched a really good one in a while, so I'm also going to take recommendations. I'm always looking for something to watch around bedtime, and if I wind up having a documentary that really hooks my attention and about more of the recent stuff like the COVID stuff or something, I'm open to discussing it. So maybe we'll have like a documentary exchange stream next Monday or something. I'll throw it around. I'll throw around the idea. I'll see what I've got going on. And until then, again, big shout out to everyone who showed up in the chat today. Another big cheers. And another big cheers to everyone watching later on demand. Please leave a comment below if you're one of those people. If you're one of the people that are lurking or one of the people that are watching, just say hi. I'm not looking to interact necessarily. I'm not going to put you on blast. I'm not going to talk about you on the next stream or whatever. Just let me know you were there. Say hi. Get some what do you call it? Engagement going. So cheers to you. All right. I will catch you 2 days from now at this time right now, just after 6 p.m. Central on Wednesday. Same bat time, same bat channel as always. We'll talk about the latest breaking news. We'll talk about whatever weird stuff is happening. I'll try to definitely dig more into all kinds of news stories and get that going. And I may give you a little update, little just personal update on what's going on with the gaming and the channels. And, I'm currently sitting at 19 and a half streaming hours for the month. I need to make it to 30 by March 4th. I don't think that's going to be much of a problem. That, I think even just doing the culture plate will get me close. So if I do just a couple more gaming streams, now granted, I'm not going to have another holiday weekend, so it might be a little harder to reach that, especially with all the other stuff I got going on in my life. But rest assured, I'm going to be making that attempt. I really am curious about what the Rumble partner program is going to be like. Oh, Billdozer74 says he's going to get his 30 tonight. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, I might have to tune in for that. Go ahead and say what time your stream's going to be tonight, Billdozer, and what time zone. What time and time zone is your stream going to be tonight? I might have to tune in, and I definitely advise other people to tune in. It's he basically does similar stuff to me, just a little more entertaining. Because I'm not as funny or. And feel free to leave a link too, Billdozer. I'll put that on the screen too. He says 9:30 p.m. Central. And here, let me just do this. Oh, he's already got the link ready. Boom, here, let me just throw that up in there. Here's the link. Like he's going to be talking about Canada. So yeah, I've got that ready to go, ready to watch. And there we go. Boom. All right. So in the meantime, folks, so yeah, in the meantime, you'll have Billdozer to keep you entertained. You'll have other people to keep you entertained. Like I said, I'll be back on the 19th, 6 p.m. Central, unless I wind up doing another gaming stream somewhere, but I doubt it. I really doubt it. Like I said, I might be too busy watching Billdozer tonight to do any gaming streams. Hell, I might turn Billdozer on and like I said, just play some Baldur's Gate and get some try to beef up my loot and my gold try to be wearing something other than underwear on my next stream. Yeah, Baldur's Gate. Unfortunately, there are some woke aspects of Baldur's Gate. Today, I ran into a whole racist conversation on Baldur's Gate, a conversation about racism and the whole nature versus nurture bullshit. I chose not to engage with that conversation in the game. But then there's also the ability to just walk around with exposed penis in the game. So yeah, I'm not really fond of those kind of things. But overall, it's been a pretty fun game, and it's been pretty customizable, and you can kind of craft the game experience to what you want it to be. So I can't complain too much, and I'm still going to keep playing it. We'll see how far I can get. But until next time, folks, take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Yeah, he said at least underwear. Well, I had Demon's Wrath pop into the chat and tell me, hey man, just teabag. Just go around teabag. And so yeah, I took the underwear off for a little bit in the game. Not my underwear. I don't expose myself on camera here, but in the game, yeah, I did walk around a little dong out there for a while. So yeah, folks, take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Outlast those haters. You know what? I should find someone to raid. I keep forgetting to raid people. Let's see who's live. What do we got going on here? Let's see who's live. We got someone doing Cyberpunk. We got Jimmy Dore, but I don't want somebody with a bunch of one random dolly. That sounds like some thought stream. Andrew Tate giveaway. Yeah, no thank you. Let's try page 3 here. Yeah, okay. We got Alex Jones InfoWars Live. A-Star, The Devil's in the Details. Hip Hop Radio. More InfoWars Live. Capitalist Radio episode of The Ghost Show.
Certain stature to it.
Okay, we'll try this. We'll see who these people are. Okay, I'll raid them. Oh, I just realized I wasn't presenting. So yeah, I'm going to raid these people. Sounds like a good idea. All right. So let me just go ahead and bring that off the screen. Go back to my own stream so I could put the raid in the chat. Just go ahead and bring that off the screen. Go back to my own. Boom. Back to my own stream so I could put the raid in the take chat. care of one another. Outlast the haters. Don't get any on you. And if you do,
go back to my
rub that
own-
shit in real good.
Boom.
See you next time on
Back to
Miles
my own
Culture
stream
Plate.
so I could
All right,
put
folks,
the raid
Tell us
in the
take care of
chat.
one
A good
another.
couple
Outlast the
days
haters.
and
Don't get any
Happy
on you.
President's
And if
Day.
you do,
Go back to my
rub that
own-
shit in real good.
Boom.
See you next time on
Back to my
Miles
own